Welcome to the Haverhill Journal, where this week we're getting the inside scoop on spring cleaning time in our city. And when the Journal says the inside scoop, we mean it literally. Haverhill residents received their new trash toters this week in the city's biggest waste collection shakeup since single-stream recycling. We are going to take a look at how the whole program works and answer some of your questions. After that, we'll be heading over to Hilldale Cemetery, where the place has been reinvigorated after 3 years of intensive cleanup. But first, I'm going to go back inside because I kind of like it in here. After almost 2 years of preparation and an extensive pilot program, automated trash pickup begins on May 2nd. But there are still a few questions about how it works.
Will all of my trash fit in this new trash toter?
This is your standard 64-gallon trash toter, and as you can see, I fit in here with plenty of room to spare. This will hold about as much trash as 2 standard-sized trash cans, and even families of 6 who tried out the toters during the trial period found that they had plenty of room for all of their garbage.
Is this toter going to be too heavy to move?
Elderly residents who participated in the pilot program generally found the toters easier to use than their old trash cans. If you'd prefer a smaller toter, however, 32-gallon toters are available through the city. If you're disabled and cannot handle a barrel, please contact the recycling department and they will make a hardship exemption for you.
What if my street is too narrow for the toters?
60 cities in Massachusetts with older, narrow streets similar to Haverhill's are currently using these toters. A special rear loading system is deployed for those extra narrow streets.
So what do I do with my old trash cans?
Slap a recycling sticker on them, like this, and repurpose them as recycling barrels. For pickup, your cart should be placed next to the curb with the arrows on the lid facing outward toward the street. The most important thing to remember is that there needs to be a 3 feet clearance all around your toter, so don't put it next to any utility poles, fire hydrants, or parked cars. Also, there needs to be 7 feet of clearance above the toter so that the arm can lift it, so don't place it under any low-hanging trees or shrubbery. In case you do find yourself with some extra trash, the city is supplying every resident with a coupon for 5 free overflow bags that can be left on the curb next to your toter. You can purchase additional bags at the highway department or local supermarkets. Or, if you prefer, you can also rent a second toter from the city for a small fee. If you have any additional bags or boxes of trash, do not place them on top of your toter because they will not be picked up. You need to have any overflow trash in an official overflow bag placed on the ground next to your toter. Bulk items like mattresses and furniture will still be picked up at the curb for free, but you need to call Capital Waste Systems at least 2 business days ahead of time so that they can come by to pick up your bulk item. The City of Haverhill conducted an extensive pilot program at over 400 homes. Participants were strongly in favor of the program, with 95% recommending that automated trash pickup go citywide. So there you have it. Using the toters is pretty simple, and the pilot program was extremely well received. It's going to save the city almost $500,000 a year in waste pickup costs. For our second story, we've moved here to Hilldale Cemetery, where, as you can see, there's been a massive cleanup effort over the past few years. Mother-son team Nick and Tammy Dobrzelski have led the charge, and we're going to talk to them to see how it happened.
We were just driving along, and we drove by, and I looked in, and I thought that it was kind of sad that it was all overgrown. It kind of looked like a jungle back in here.
So we stopped one day and we walked all the way down around back, and he said, I think this would be a great place for an Eagle Scout project. So we started thinking about it, and he put together a proposal for his project, and the council approved it, and we started working. That was 3 years ago, so we're still working. The cemetery was originally owned by Charles Porter, and he and his wife ran the cemetery for years. When he passed away, she appointed a board to run the cemetery. And that went on for a number of years, and of course there were changes in people. And then the last board before we took over pretty much left the cemetery to its own devices. So the trees grew up and they toppled stones, and the brush grew up, and things got lost. 2008, the board was taken over again as the Hilldale Cemetery Association. It's actually been nonprofit since 1965. Nicholas's Eagle Scout project kind of jump-started us, got more people interested. The Boy Scouts came in, and we started doing a larger scale project. He wanted to join the board, And since he's going to college, then I joined the board. That's how we ended up where we are now. There are 5 of us on the board now. It's all volunteer. We don't make any money doing this. And you know, we recruit people to try to come in and help us clean up, and we've been doing that for a while.
Our students at Ocasio's True Martial Arts, in order for them to go to their levels of black belt, must do 10 hours of community service. So I was looking for opportunities for them to complete those hours and saw a notice in the newspaper stating that they were looking for help to clean up Hilldale. Within a week, we had the key to the cemetery, and we come in 4 times in the spring, 4 to 5 times in the fall, and our students come in with rakes and tarps and lawnmowers, weed whackers, and gloves, and everybody's hands-on. Parents come in and help, the siblings have come, grandparents have come, and we have put a lot of effort into clearing the property here.
Hilldale Cemetery was incorporated in 1859, which is about 160 years ago, as a community cemetery. There are thousands of veterans buried in the cemetery. There are over 400 Civil War alone.
I really like the cemetery because of all the history behind it. Wars and stuff like that was always my favorite subject. We have tons of Civil War veterans, and we actually have a Civil War veteran here who is a woman who masqueraded as a man to fight until she was wounded and was found out.
We have heirs, we have Tattersall's, we have Saltonstalls. Those are all big names from way back in Haverhill history that you'll hear and see.
Within Hilldale, I had always known that my grandmother, her stepfather, was buried here, and we had looked for the stone, couldn't find the stone, but from moving around we kept finding stones that said Bean, B-E-A-N. So I went back to my genealogy and found some of the beans and realized that 2 of the stones over there are actually my great-grandfather and great-grandparents. The 2 stones that are here are my actual great-grandparents, and it's pretty cool to be able to unearth and find your family's stones. So now we will forever take care of them and know that they will get the respect that they deserve being in a cemetery.
We estimate that we've cleared probably 6 or 7 acres out of 17 that we have here. This is an area that we haven't cleared yet. We probably have about 10 more acres just like this that we're making our way towards very slowly. Hilldale Cemetery is privately owned, but we are encouraging people to come and walk their dogs. In the winter, we've had snowshoers come in. Just respectful visitors who are using the grounds properly. The only thing that we ask is that you pick up after your dogs or yourselves if you're coming in here.
Hilldale Cemetery is a historic cemetery, but there are family plots where we are still, you know, relatives are still being buried. This area here is being backfilled and having topsoil put on top of it because ultimately this will be area for new burials, which will be another source of revenue for the cemetery. Steve Allen, who is a local Haverhill contractor, is doing the work for us and bringing in the fill pro bono. So on May 1st, we're having a huge, hopefully a huge scale cleanup, inviting the public and anyone who's interested in helping us clean up. From 9 to 1, we are going to provide lunch for everybody, and if you can bring your own tools, that's great. We will have as many as we can, and we'll just tackle everything that we can tackle that day based on how many people arrive.
So we look forward to coming back every year, and spring's coming, so we'll be back again.
Sometimes we come down here when there's not even a cleanup day. We just come down and mow the lawns and do all that stuff. So I'm planning on being here for a while.
Hilldale is going to be a busy place on May 1st, so we hope all of you guys turn out to help with the cleanup. We can't end a spring cleaning episode without mentioning the annual citywide cleanup on April 23rd, where over 300 volunteers turned out to beautify the city's neighborhoods and parks. Job well done to that crew, and that does wrap up this episode of Spring Cleaning in Haverhill with the Haverhill Journal. I'm Lindsay Paris, and we'll see you next time.